Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. Today, I want to talk about finding flow, and more specifically, how you can create flow and not just find it. Flow is one of those interesting things that the more I act and behave as a designer, the more I design, the more I realize that I have to have flow in order to produce my best work and produce work consistently. Does that make sense? So this is actually our topic for the April Accelerated Designer Workshop. It's still a couple of weeks away, so if you're just hearing this, you can sign up for it. It is going to be a really good workshop because we are going to really dive into life hacks, ways that we can trigger ourselves to create that flow. But in this episode, I really wanted to talk about what flow is, okay? So it's so interesting. I went online. I was just like, I'm wondering what people are saying about flow. And the main thing that comes out is that flow occurs when you are so absorbed in the thing at hand. It's a mental process that happens, basically, where you are so fully engaged with the thing that you are doing that time stands still. You don't really notice the things around you, and you can find yourself in this amazing state where you're just moving forward. I think as designers, we have to have this. And most of the time, because you're in a flow state, you don't even realize that it's happening. The few times that I've noticed that it's happening to me, it's like after the fact, right? Like I spend the whole day, I've been designing, and then I come back and I'm like, I wake up from my trance basically and have produced so much and go get some dinner and realize I come back and I was like, oh my gosh, I was totally in flow, like totally in that state of where my mental capacity was completely engaged with the design work, the creativity at hand. Now, why is this so important? It's so important because it comes up that flow state is, it has all these amazing benefits. One is that your enjoyment level goes up, your ability as a designer or creative goes like just insane. It's so good. And part of it is because you are in that state, so you're just producing in its sheer creativity. You are supposed to actually get a dopamine hit. So what happens in the brain is they see that you are getting a dopamine hit from this flow state. So it's a very natural thing to have happen. So I just think about the times that I have kind of fallen into this state of flow, and I thought a lot about like, how did those things happen? How did I get to that state of flow? And there were some really specific things that I noticed in myself and things I was doing to get into that state. So those are the things we're going to go over in Accelerated Designer Workshop. I'm really excited to share some of my hacks for how I've gotten into that state once I went back and realized what I had been doing. And for those of you who have been in flow, what I want you to recognize is that that first of all, that it's happened to you, and then identify the things that got you into that state. Was it having a huge block of time? Was it, I don't know, like you were already happy before it happened? Maybe you were thinking of something very creatively that you wanted to like really explore. Those things happen, and then flow really is the next stage of that. So I hope that first of all, you recognize when you have flow, because very often we don't even recognize it because we're so busy, we're so engrossed in the thing that we are doing, right? So I hope you get to recognize it. Second of all, I hope that you can create ways to have more flow in your life, because I think it's such an important thing as a creative. All right, guys, I hope I get to see you at Accelerated Designer Workshop. You can go find that at carinagardnercourses.com/designer workshop if you want to come join me for a single workshop or the all access pass, which gets you all the workshops I've done since January, which is pretty fun. And I can't wait to see you soon. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.